Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes. You can speak loudly.
Yeah, so just I'm requesting go through your profile, please. Hello,
Hello.
please can you go through your profile?
My profile.
Yes,
Which place? Where the profile is talking about?
Suresh Raju
Wait, Kuri.
Vetkuri, right?
Yes.
So I got your resume for technical discussion, L1 discussion.
Yes, yes. You are not achieving my resume.
Sorry,
Your hand is not resume there in now.
sir, that is the reason I'm asking you. Could you please go through your profile so that I can screen your profile, right?
Okay, okay. How to push it?
You're a candidate or not?
Yes, yes. How to push it? My resume.
Why you want to push? I don't understand. You came for interview, right?
Yes, yes.
So that I'm a screener, I'm L1 panel
Okay,
person.
okay.
So I'm asking,
Okay. Okay. I am. Uh, Thank you in this opportunity. My name is Suresh Raju Vetkuri. I have overall experience in 4 years in IT. Um, my relevant experience in Agile and Devops methodologies is 3 years. The past 3 years I have been working in Skylab Infotech Private Limited, build and release engineer. Well, coming to my skill set, it is hands-on experience on Linux, proven experience in Git version control system and Maven, and good experience in Jenkins CI/CD and also automation to Jenkins end-to-end pipeline. Hands-on experience of shell scripting and create the playbooks and ansible. And also microservices have doing in different environments of applications is in deployment of the Kubernetes cluster manifest files I'm doing, and also using a Kubernetes package manager as a Helm. Hands-on experience of that particular AWS infrastructure is a code creation of it is the involvement in AWS. Good knowledge about the monitoring tools of Prometheus Grafana is using for monitoring of the cluster, and also CloudWatch. This is my roles and responsibilities to take in the after talk about, and I am creating the Jenkins file end to end. This show of CI/CD process automation way to implementation of the Jenkins server, and also using the Maven generator hardware to store the secure way to binary repository. Um, Develop side of the particular issues are facing that way to server side of any bugs and issues. It is the build and release engineer for that particular activities day to day. My side of profile.
okay. So what about your Kubernetes cluster? Can you tell me what is the current architecture of your Kubernetes cluster?
It is EKS I am doing in AWS.
Okay.
The architecture is doing in master and worker nodes. It is master is considered about 4 components: API server, a controller, scheduler, and etcd. It is working of master and connected through nodes. You can communication of these things, health checks and all those things. It is the node servers is kubelet and kubectl. It is a docker running of that particular activities in node servers. That is the Kubernetes architecture.
Did you get my question?
Yeah.
So in your current project, how you are using your Kubernetes? What is the architecture of that?
My
That's
current
what my
project
question.
is CI/CD flow, end-to-end activity. It's doing in automation way. First of all, the developers, it is the raw code is developed into central repository. The pull to that CI server in Jenkins, that test it and build after that build failures. We can notification the Slack notification. We can developers and DevOps engineers. We can success the build. You can further step is the delivery. To can any check of bugs and every code is repeated way to implement is the quality gates is checking in sonar cube. After check that, after artifact is generated to stored in Nexus repository, to can create that containerization these artifact that containers are deployed into the Kubernetes cluster. It is the end-to-end process in Jenkins pipeline. My working structure is. Hello.
Okay. So I will give a sample scenario. So for example, I have application inside my private subnet in Kubernetes. So I want to access it outside. So what are the steps you will follow to get access to that application?
It is basically it is a private subnet. It is not exported to the outside world. But I am following the steps. You can do it in. First, you can. It is the cluster IP. You can communicate with inside of the pod. After you can node port. You can access to the another. It is outside of the access to Kubernetes cluster. It is the node port to take in that outside of the Kubernetes cluster. That is the IP address and post allocated. That is the application to access the outside the world.
That's it, or do you have any further steps?
It is way to it is access to a particular application. That is a way to allocate of node port, node IP. It is the change of network. That is the way to
Okay.
access that my side.
So do you know how many services are there in Kubernetes? How many different types of services are there in Kubernetes?
Services services nothing but cluster IP, node port, node IP, its load balancer.
Okay. Have you created any resources in AWS?
Yeah.
So for example, I want to.
Yeah.
I have a S3 bucket. I have an object inside my S3 bucket. I want to give access to a group of users. What are the steps you will follow to get access to that particular object?
It's creating of it's not a hands-on way. It is IAM user access to S3 bucket. You can create the infrastructure as a code to take which provider to take that Terraform infrastructure to can take that documentation. You can follow that S3 bucket name and all the resources inside that. That is the URL based of can you generate the S3 bucket URL to access that particular resources of inside of the bucket.
In AWS, I said in AWS.
Yes.
So generally, what are the steps you will follow at Terraform? Generally.
Generally, you can first you can install the Terraform and the current directory. You can install the locally and auto backend of the plugins you created after identify of the which provider to you use, and after that you can plan to which is the blueprint of that you can infrastructure. It is the current state to desired state, what is TF to the infrastructure way, and also next step is Terraform apply to create how it is changes of infrastructure, what you can do it, how can changes that particular add or changing of infrastructure. You can see that report. After that it is almost entirely it is ending of that Terraform destroy. You can destroy that create the infrastructure totally. That is the steps to implementation.
Are you sure?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What about Devops tools? Where you are good at in Devops tools?
Jenkins.
Which is the best tool?
It's the
Jenkins.
CI/CD process entirely.
Sure. So in Jenkins, I think you might be aware of different types of pipelines, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why we use? I think you're using this declarative pipeline, right?
Yes.
So what are the steps are there in your declarative pipeline?
The pipeline is creating the human readable language in the declarative pipeline. You can steps to involve in the first top of that pipeline. After any agent you can provide it that which enrollment you can this pipeline is running. After that stages inside of the stages in a stage which stage is it is the building and testing and deployed where you are can declare the stage. The inside of the stage we can steps there which building up creation of the scripts and Linux commands are there inside of that particular stage. You can mention that way to prepare that declarative pipeline. The pipeline is creating in a scripted way. It is the human readable language.
First of all, tell me what are the steps? What are the stages or steps are there in your pipeline? How many stages? How many steps?
It is the 3 stages of that. It is basically 3 stages, and the extra 2 stages is given to storage of artifacts and check of doing the is code is it is quality gates in Spanner Cube. This is the way to implement. It is the 3 steps, 3 stages, and extra in 2 stages. It is communication between the other tools also. It is the log files you can use in Splunk. And also you can create do in Kubernetes cluster monetization tools in the Prometheus Grafana. It is also involved. Majorly 3 steps. One is build and test and deploy. The 3 steps to continuously integration, continuous deployment is completed.
Okay. Inside that, what are the steps you are following?
Yes, steps is going to that particular activities. You can see that build stage. What is the testing purpose and build the activities? What is the credit? You can name that particular build. What is the build number is generated? It is the Maven is doing that way. Please place that particular credentials are there. After testing, the application is the unit test and integration test. That is the second stage. And third stage you can steps are there in the deployment. What is the deployment of the which environments, Kubernetes or NV environment, Docker, or any credentials or that particular area. That is the way to steps if you refer to that declarative pipeline.
You have a separate CI/CD or in one job only you are writing both CI/CD?
Hello?
Do you have any separate job pipeline for the CI and separate pipeline for CD, or in single pipeline only you are doing both CI/CD?
Yes, CI/CD is continuous pipeline. It is the doing
Okay.
Slack notifications in between any failure of a build, any failure of test. It is you can integrate with the Slack. Immediate notification on the dashboard. Are you knowledgeable? Are you heard about Slack?
I'm not sure.
Slack is the integration to every CI/CD server to can show that you can connect it to the developers and operations team to push the notifications every what is the build trigger is failure or not.
Okay, but you said you're using Jenkins, right, for deployments?
What?
What is the deployment tool you're using? Jenkins. What is the CI/CD tool you're using?
Yes, CI/CD is Jenkins. Automatically to create the Docker file to it is the artifact is created into deploy, but it is a piece of application web pages you can deploy into that Kubernetes cluster in these containers. This is the Docker file is, and the credentials are taken into that Kubernetes. You can integrate that in Jenkins server.
That's okay. My question is, so how you said CI in CI? What are the tools you are using in CI?
CA using the Git, it is the integration of which raw code is pick up that CA server. To can raw code in CA server is test it and build it. That is the process to way. And in between of the Slack notifications, and Slack notification is integrated. After that, Sonar Cube is integrated. It is the quality check to the developer side. And also Nexus repositories, the binaries are stored into that particular repository. That is artifact storage. The versioning purpose to which artifact is the build now. That is the process. That is these tools are integrated. This is the CI process.
Okay. How you are deploying?
It is the CD part. It is deployment is to take that credentials. It is showing you can integration deployment stage. You can push that credentials, Docker private repository credentials, which can host the Docker, and Kubernetes cluster credentials to take the secrets of in system configurations on tab there. That is the post the credentials and call back to the tokens. That way to deployment of the Kubernetes cluster and the containerization. It is the CD part. It is entirely different, entirely continuous in automation way. It is backend is running those steps.
Okay. In Linux, for example, I want to check QBP server is working or not. So on which port it is working. So how do you check that in Linux?
Sorry?
I want to check the QBP
Voice is
server
very
in
low.
Kubernetes.
Please again.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
So my question is, so for example, in Kubernetes, we have different services running, right? So for example, I want to check my QBP server is working or not, on which port it is working. So how I can check in Linux command, which command you will use?
How to check the server is working or not?
Yes.
Which service?
That's
is,
it.
Okay. Server is it is taken IP. If config is it is the IP addresses is not pinging or not. And also you can check that server is working or not. Services or server?
Service. QBP is a service, right? Inside Kubernetes. Not kubectl. In Linux, I want to check which port it is running. I need two things: whether it is running and which port it is running. I want to check in a Linux.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that? What command you will use?
It's running or not is I am processing. I am checking the process is stop command, which process is running in this service server. You can take that particular CPU utilization, whatever it is, and a disk space checking a DH-F. That is the command using. But the service you can use to the cluster side is it is IP address and port number. You can not access. It is outside the world is not access. It is inside that cluster. That is the check to myself.
Okay. So I said process.
Okay.
So which the process is running? VPI server. VPI server is this is service inside Kubernetes, right? Which service is whether it is running at which port it is running and what is the PID for that. So I want to check these details. What command you will use to get those details?
It's kubectl get SVC. Which services are
SVC
running?
get service, right?
Yes.
I said kubAPI. So in master node we have a kubAPI
API server. Is
API
with
server.
kubectl.
Yeah, in Kubernetes you will use kubectl. I'm said in Linux.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I'm not understanding your question, but you can different flavors yum install that particular activity yum you can choose that services you can
Which command you will use, whether which process is running or not, how you can, which command.
using.
So apart from that, do you have any ps-ef? If you grip this service, you will get the service details and port details and PID, all those things, right?
It is actually is doing in scripting way. That is the which script is running that show that particular activity.
Yes, that's what I'm expecting.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, you have experience in Ansible as well, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So have you written any playbooks, roles?
Yes,
What is the difference between a playbook and role?
Playbook is YAML script is doing in different configuration or deployment stages of written in that playbook. Role is inside of the different playbooks. The multiple playbooks are there in role, and also you can different modules are there in role. Role is nothing but you calling to different environments to different reusability purpose to role. To can get a lot of information about role to push the environment to create that particular variables, templates, and tasks, everything about the role.
Okay. So that's it from my side. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, one question for me. This is the position for that which roles and responsibilities I am asking for you.
So basically, it is a build and release engineer position only.
Okay.
So, but we are looking for a candidate with a strong understanding of AWS and Kubernetes. That is our main focus. Apart from the Devops tools, you said Jenkins, right?
Okay.
So other Devops tools, Git we use, Jenkins we use, like that. We have your different tools, Devops tools, right? Those tools also we are using. But apart from that, we are executing all those things on AWS and Kubernetes, right? So that is the reason it is our focus area. So how many years of experience you have in AWS?
It is a 2 years experience.
Charge. Okay, fine. So I will check with HR.
It's basically present I am doing in CI/CD process in continuously Python scripting right now. Basically some trigger the builds, parametric builds. That is the way to implementation. These all the servers is running in AWS. The creation of AWS infrastructure to prepare the everything in infrastructure in building AWS. Your roles and responsibilities. What are the activities, day-to-day activities? You can explain about it.
So in if you have selected for the first round, right? In second round, he will explain those details. Okay. So first of all, let me share the feedback with HR. So he will get in touch with you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your valuable compliment. Your name is I remember that. Shyam.
Yes.
Yeah, Shyam. I am very happy with you and talk with you and great day today, and you explain about the very different questions and also I am expecting you are asking about AWS resources also questions, but second round is coming to. Okay. Thank you. And any questions?
No. I will pass the feedback to HR, so he will get in touch with you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you. Leave it the call.
Yeah. Thank you.